I like that darker. Alright. I got this one from the folks over at the Meet in the Middle show. Now my camera's not gonna zoom right. Of course not. Why would it fucking focus? Good evening, family. It is a wonderful Thursday evening out here in Holland, Michigan. As you can see, I'm outside today. It's about 55 degrees or so outside. A little bit of a chill in there, but I got the trusty Under Armour on to keep the chill off me. For once, there's not a whole lot of snow out here. It's kind of nice. Hopefully you can hear me all right. As I've previously discussed, I've got some traffic out here, but we'll make the best of it, right? So, coming at you today with a review, we're going to try out the 1502 Ruby. 1502 Ruby. Got this from the generous folks over at the Meet in the Middle show. Mark, Hyacinth, Lee-Mac. Again, thank you very much. So I did a little bit of homework on this one for you guys. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we're looking at a Nicaraguan Corojo Habano wrapper. It's got a nice color to it. And then the binder and filler is a top quality Nicaraguan and Mexican aged tobacco from Jalapa and Esteli. So that should make for an interesting flavor. These are supposed to have really good flavor. I was reading a little bit on the flavors that you're supposed to get with it. But I don't want to go through that because to everybody it tastes different. So we'll see what I get. This particular one is a Corona box pressed. As you can see, it's got that nice squareness to it. Somewhat of a closed foot on there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Got like a semi-closed foot. It's got a little bit of an opening there, but not much. So we'll be careful with that. So the Corona box pressed is a 5" by 42, and it runs you about $7.40 standard MSRP. So I wasn't exactly sure how to cut this one, just because the tip on it is so small. So today I think we're gonna try to use the V cut. Smell from the wrapper is it's like a subtle sweetness in there. A little bit of spice that kind of tickles your nasal passages. It's a pretty smooth wrapper. I don't know, it's got one vein right there, pretty big vein that runs along the bottom. Other than that, it's pretty nice looking. You can see the seams on it. It's got some plume on it. Tiny little caps. We'll try not to cut too much off. Pretty smooth wrapper. It's got like a slight, not really toothy, it's got like that slight sandpaper finish to it, like I've seen on some cigars. Really nice box press though. It's pretty square, guys. There's not a whole lot of roundness to it. So yeah, kind of sweet tobacco, a little bit of spice. So let's go ahead and get her cut up, and we'll see what we're working with here. I'll try not to cut too much off of here. I was going to punch it, but the punch that I have is a little too big for the end of this, I think. Well, I think that'll do, probably. So I didn't take a whole lot off. Just made a nice little divot in there. That should work pretty well. Oh wow. Super tight draw. Try and open it up a little bit here. That is a very firm draw. But now that I think about it, that could make sense because of that closed foot. So I suppose we'll just light it up and see what happens. All I'm really getting on the cold draw is sweet tobacco. Yeah, just sweet tobacco. So, today, family, we're going to be using this new lighter I got. It is a Vertigo lighter. I got this one in my Amigo package that I bought from Rodrigo Cigars. Came with a cutter, a lighter, 5 cigars, and a cigar caddy. So that was nice. A good deal. Probably like, I think it was like 30-35 bucks. So it is a quad jet, maybe a little bit bigger than what I need for this, but the thing I do like about it is it lights every time. The other Vertigo I got, it lights, just not every time. And it's got the wider, it's got the jets that are in rows, so that might be too much as is. So let's give it a shot. All right, family, let's check it out. As Brother Lee Mack always says, you got to be careful with these closed feet because when you get them heated up, they could drop off on your lap, burn the crap out of you, and you don't want that. Still a pretty firm draw, but we'll deal with it for now. If I got to open it up later, we'll open it up a little more. And already, Brother Lee Mack, I can see what you talk about now when you talk about shoe shine. This cigar definitely has some shoe shine. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but just below that mascara line, you see how there's like the mascara line, the black, there's that ring of light, and then the darkness of the wrapper. That darkness on the wrapper is the shoe shine that Brother Lee Mack always talks about, and the lightness is actually the true color of the wrapper. So that makes sense because I could see where that lighter ring is like a dark brown color, if that makes sense. Almost like not really a tan, but somewhere between tan and dark brown, which would be what I would expect from a Habano wrapper. And then usually what they do is they use some sort of, I'm not exactly sure on what it is, but it's something that they paint on to the wrapper that makes it that darker. It almost looks like a Maduro wrapper, but it's not. It's a Habano wrapper. So. Right off the bat, you get kind of like that, spicy, not really hot spicy, but like that spicy tobacco that that I've come to expect out of Habano or anything that's got like a Mexican binder or filler in it. draw is still pretty firm. Kind of feels like there's a knot right about where the band is. And that's kind of interesting because if you look at where the band is, you can kind of see there's like this spot right here. See that? Kind of like where that stem rolls, or not the stem, but the where the vein rolls through. Oh, the camera's gonna go out of focus. Kind of right where that vein runs through, right next to it there. There's that little spot, and I don't know if that's like a stem poking through or what that is, but it's alright. Still smoking pretty good. It's not super harsh on the nasal passages for the retrohale. The retrohale doesn't really give you any more or any less flavor. The pepper's starting to climb just a little bit. I mentioned that that spicy tobacco starts off not really as like a peppery spice. It's more of like I don't know what you want to call it. Like I don't know. I'm not good at describing these things, family. And I don't have my flavor wheel in front of me either, of course. It's kind of like when you eat like a mild chorizo. It's got that spiciness to it, but it's not like blow your head, kind of like coat your tongue kind of spice. It's just kind of like a subtle hint of something spicy without giving you that full effect kind of thing. So this is supposed to be a medium body, medium strength cigar. It's definitely not hitting me as up front as that nub Habano did. So that's good. I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet, but if you haven't, check it out on my channel, and you could tell what I'm talking about. I had started smoking that one. It's not one that I particularly cared for, but as I rewatched it, as I was putting the video together, I was like, man, that definitely hit me kind of hard. You can kind of see me starting to, get low a little bit, and I wasn't even halfway through it, so this one's not hitting me that bad. Got lots of plume on the tip there. At least I think it's plume. Yeah. So as far as flavor, not a whole lot. It's definitely got a nice tobacco core. Just that little bit of spice in there, not super peppery. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Just a nice tobacco core flavor, and just the slightest little bit of it's like a, I don't know, I guess you could call it like a light or a medium black pepper. But like I said, it's not anything spicy. It's not choking me in the back of the throat or anything. It's not coating my tongue. It's just like that little, like a dash, just like a dash. Pretty good so far. Pretty firm draw. We'll see if that lightens up a little bit. If not, I might have to go get my little tool and work my magic with it. But alright, family, I'm going to kick back, smoke on this Ruby a little bit, and we'll see where it takes us. Stay tuned. Alright, family, so we're well into the first third here. Starting to get a little dark outside. I might have to venture on into the garage. So just a few things I've noticed here with the flavor-wise. There's a slight bit of a tiny little I can't even talk. There's a slight sweet, citrusy kind of flavor that's kind of coming in and out a little bit. It's got some woodiness to it, some cedar. And then first ash dropped off at about a half inch. That's about all I got on there before it dropped off, and we're almost there already again. So might be getting another ash drop here soon. So far so good. I've had to touch up the burn twice, but it wasn't super bad. Pretty easy touch up, and we're pretty even again. So not docking any points for that one yet. Still got kind of a firm draw, but the smoke output is getting better. It was a little light at first, and now it's starting to give you a little bit more smoke on the draw. You can definitely taste like the cedar right up front, along with that that dash of pepper I was talking about, kind of on the back of my tongue now. So pretty good pairing. Aroma wise, just by kind of smelling, the smoke coming off of it. Pretty standard, what I would call a cigar smell. Not super overpowering. There's not a whole lot of smoke output on the foot either, if you can see that. Probably can't see it because there's not that much. But yeah. So the ash is a little sideways, but fairly compact ash, not super flaky. There is more white ash in there than most cigars that I see, so that's a good sign. Usually, from what I understand, white ash and that cone shape in there indicates a pretty high premium cigar, so that's good. Exactly what I would expect from 1502, right? As far as the rest goes, I mean, I'm not getting a whole lot of complexity, so I don't know. We'll have to smoke on a little bit more. So I'm thinking, because they also say that with different size cigars you get more or less different flavors. So this one comes in a variety of sizes, a pretty big variety of sizes. They've got a Robusto, which is 5x50 for $7.10, which is actually cheaper than the Corona for some reason. That's kind of odd to me. But so if I were to do this again, I'd probably go with a Robusto. You tend to get a little more flavor, I think, out of the bigger ring gauge. But they've also got a Toro, which is 6x50 for $7.70. Torpedo, which is 6.5x52 for $8.30. A Perfecto, which for those of you who don't know what a Perfecto is, it's kind of like a Torpedo, where it's got the cone on one end and then there's like a slight cone on the other end. That's called the Perfecto. Tapered on both sides, basically. And then they have one that they call a Conquistador, which is a 6x56, and that one is... Boy, I can't even read my own handwriting. It looks like it's just over $8. If I had to guess, I don't even know what I wrote. So we'll just say $8. The Conquistador 6x56 for $8. And then last but not least, they have a Lancero, which would be the longer, skinnier ones. And that's a 7" by 40 ring gauge at $7.50. So I'm kind of partial to the Robusto size. These smaller Coronas are nice too, especially with the box press. It makes a nice shape, but I prefer Robusto. So if I went with this again, I'd probably get a Robusto. But like I said, I got these for free from the folks over at the Meet in the Middle show. You can't complain about that, right? And by the way, if you haven't checked out the Meet in the Middle show yet, go on over to their page on YouTube. They have a channel, iRobusto channel, Meet in the Middle. Just look up Meet in the Middle show, and you'll find them. Lots of cool reviews on there, cigar reviews. The thing I like about their show, guys, is that you get 3 different people smoking the same cigar, so you get 3 different point of views on the same cigar. So it kind of gives you an unbiased decision on what the cigar is like, I think. Kind of cool. You can also check them out at iRobusto.com, along with Lee Mac 912 and Cut Light Smoke. They all do cigar reviews, obviously, right? So they all do cigar reviews. Check them out, guys. Good reviews there. And if you like the short, sweet, and to the point reviews, check out Cut Light Smoke especially. He does those quick reviews, kind of gets you down to the point, not a whole lot of extra in there. Me, I like to make it a little more personal, give a little bit of extra, you know. Just another ash drop. About the same that time, about a ½ inch. Alright, family, so I'm going to sit back, smoke on this a little bit more. I think I'm going to venture into the garage here in a minute. It's starting to get a little chillier out. The sun's going down. We're looking at, it's probably about 8:45 right now. Got to go to work here soon, so might venture into the garage, get a little more lighting, and get out of this. It's not really windy, but I don't know, it's a little chilly out here, so might be venturing. I'm going to smoke on this a little bit more, and I'll come back with some more thoughts for you guys. See you soon. Alright, family, we're back. We're getting down towards the band here. I was actually just over at Cut Light Smoke's channel checking out his review on the 1502 Ruby. He did the Robusto size. Something I've noticed about Brother Cut Light is that he usually gets a lot of different flavors in his cigars. I'm not exactly getting all of those flavors in this one, at least not for me, guys. So he kind of described like a slight cocoa flavor. I did start getting that about halfway, just a little bit. It was kind of showed up and then left. So I don't know. Right now, getting down towards the band, all I'm really getting is some earthiness and some pepper. It's still not like a super strong pepper, but it's enough to kind of coat your tongue. The finish is starting to lengthen out a little bit on this towards the beginning. I forgot to mention that. But towards the beginning of the cigar, kind of into the middle, we were just dealing with like a little bit of just a slight finish. It didn't really hang around a whole lot. Now I think getting through the cigar, it's starting to kind of coat my tongue a little bit, and that way, I mean, it's giving you a longer finish. So still not super overpowering. It still has that strong tobacco core. Like I said earlier, it had a little bit of citrus kind of come and go, a little bit of cocoa kind of come and go. And when I say cocoa, I'm not talking about, like chocolate. I'm talking like baker's chocolate. I'm talking like, excuse me, guys. When I say cocoa, I'm talking about baker's chocolate, like that bitter kind of like super like 85-90% dark chocolate kind of deal is what we got. But it was just real quick. It was like come and gone, it didn't really hang around a whole lot. So but like I said, Brother Cut Light was smoking the Robusto size. So being that it's a bigger ring gauge, I tend to find that the bigger ring gauge cigars have more flavor in them. That's just me. Maybe it's the way it's blended. Maybe they can fit more of the tobacco in there, I'm sure. So the draw on this is still a little tight. It's loosening up a little bit, so there might have been a knot or something in there about halfway that we had to burn through in order to get a little bit of a better draw. Construction-wise, we're still aiming high. I did have to touch it up one more time. It actually went out on me a second ago, and I lit it back up. No problem since I let it back up, though. Still got that cedar on the retrohale, and that pepper is just kind of sitting on the back of my tongue. Like I said, it's not overpowering. So if you're not a big pepper fan, definitely do not shy away from this. I would suggest trying it. Nothing to worry about there. It's nothing compared to, I tried a Gurkha Royal Challenge a while back, and that had a lot of pepper in it. So that was definitely not a super big favorite of mine, but I don't mind a little bit of pepper in the cigars. I think it adds a nice flavor to go along with the other flavors that might be in there. This Ruby does seem to have a little bit of a smoothness to it, even though it has that pepper finish. And by smoothness, I mean on the draw and then on the exhale, it's not like lingering around. It's just kind of rolls off your tongue. I will say that one downfall, I think, to the construction on this particular cigar is that I think the firm draw kind of hinders the flame a little bit. It seems like the longer I let it rest in between draws, the more I have to puff on it to get it to kind of light back up, so to speak. I don't know. I might dock a point for that, but it is box pressed and it is a Corona, so I would expect it to be tightly packed. I don't know if you can really see this or not. I'm kind of holding the camera with one hand right now, guys, but you can kind of see that little bit of a bulge on the side of the cigar, just under the burn line. To me, that kind of indicates that it is tightly wrapped tobacco. So when they bunch the tobacco together and they wrap the binder and the wrapper around it, they're actually they're condensing that tobacco. And then when it burns, of course, at the end you get that little bit of what I call a flare when it kind of bulges out like that. You get that little bit of a flare, and that's just the tobacco kind of separating a little bit. So that's another thing that kind of indicates to me that the tight draw and the having to touch it up and relight sometimes is a downfall to construction per se, just because, I don't know. I don't mind relighting my cigars. Some people do. So if you're one of those people that just absolutely hates having to touch up a cigar or relight it, this might not be the one for you, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to do a couple touch-ups, and you might have to relight it once or twice. But it takes no meat off of my sandwich, so. So like I said, we're getting down towards the band. It's not something that I would, like rush back out to go get another one. Probably not one of my favorites. It is one of the only 1502 cigars I have smoked. Actually, I think it's the only cigar from the 1502 line that I have smoked. So, that being said, I can't really weigh in too much on the brand. It didn't quite live up to the flavor complexity that I had read about and that Cut Light Smoke had mentioned. But I might, if I do go back out and get another one, I might decide to get the Robusto size just to see what the difference might be with there. Yep, it went on again. Alright, family, well, I'm going to get this relit and puff on a little bit more, and I will come back with my final thoughts. Stay tight, folks. Alright, family, so we might be about done on this one. We're not too much farther in than I was when I first came back, but got to get all cleaned up for work and whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and run through some numbers for you. Construction, I'm going to give it a 4. It's pretty well constructed. I gave it a 4 just based on the fact that it was a tighter draw, and then the points I kind of hinted on about being wrapped tight and having to relight, that kind of thing. So we're going to give it a 4 on construction. We're going to give it a 3 for flavor. Couple subtle hints of, like I said, the citrus, the cocoa, Interesting enough, every time I relit it, I got a cocoa right away, and then it goes away after it starts burning again. So maybe the cocoa is in the wrapper. Just a thought. So 3 on flavor, 3 on complexity. It's pretty average complexity-wise. Not a whole lot of complexity in there. That's a lot of complexities. I just realized that. So, not a whole lot of complexity on this one, guys. It's kind of a straightforward cigar. Doesn't leave you guessing too much. And then I'm going to give it a 3 on the price. Not my price, because like I said, I was gifted this one. Again, thank you guys. But at the average MSRP, which for the Corona was $7.40. At $7.40, you know, your average cigar, $7-8 is pretty good fair price for your average cigars. So I'm gonna give it a 3 on price. It's pretty average. So we add that up, do the formula there for that, and that gives us a 3.25 out of 5. 3.25. So pretty average cigar. Nothing special. Nothing really to write home to mama about. But like I said, if I were going to try it again, now I do have another one of these Coronas, so I got a little vacation trip coming up. I might bring that one with me. Might make a nice cigar to sit around the bonfire at or something. But if I was going to go out and buy one to try again for the 1502 Ruby, I would probably go with the Robusto just to see if it gives you some more flavor with the bigger ring gauge. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see. So final thoughts on the flavor. We're looking at earthy, peppery, cedar. And it went out again. So earthy, a little bit of pepper in there still. Got the cedar still going. Nice solid tobacco core. And then just those slight hints of citrus and cocoa here and there. Nothing super special, like I said. But it was still worth giving it a shot because I've never had a 1502 before, so now I got a sneak peek coming in the door. I do have a 502 Emerald to try out, and I got a 502 Sapphire in the Amigo package that I got from Rodrigo's. So I guess that kind of completes the trio, right? I think it's Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby, and then they have the XO, which I still have to get as well. So, so if I get the XO, that kind of gives me like the whole package deal there, right? So look forward to those videos as well. Again, this is Big T. If you haven't checked out any of the other videos on my page, feel free to do so. Got some good ones in there. Also, like I said, check out Brother Lemac912. You can look him up on YouTube, as well as the Meet in the Middle show with Mark Hyacinth and Lemac. You can look them up on YouTube and at irobusto.com as well. iRobusto. Do you? Maybe that should be the slogan. I don't know. But all right, guys. So I'm gonna take off. Like I said, I gotta get ready for work and all that. So those are my thoughts on the 1502 Ruby. I encourage you guys to try it. I'm gonna make it a great day. I'm a third shifter. My day's just starting. When I woke up this morning, before I got out of bed, I told myself today's gonna be another great day. Why? Because my subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the lie and the truth. All I know is that it heard you say that it was going to be a great day. And it's going to be one, folks. Alright, guys. Take care.